Hey, Derek here, Castaway Studios. Here I am in the set of 60-second news, which is a lighthearted thing, obviously, but it was what came up. It was the last used set on VMIX, so that's what you get. Couple of things to talk to you about. In fact, there's a whole stack. So let's start with the least important but most exciting. I've finally got 1,000 subs on YouTube. Yay. All right, yay. The excitement kind of gets drawn out when after your spirit's broken and you think you're going to get it in a few months, and then a year later it just ticks over. I promised my kids that I would take them to an all-you-can-eat 5-star buffet breakfast, which they're obsessed with because there's a chocolate fountain, waffles and all sorts of things. And when I got 1,005, to try and circumvent the shenanigans that they might get up to, i.e. cross over the 1,000 line 5 times and get 5 breakfasts. I think they think like I do. But anyway, we got to 1,005 last night, pretty quickly after 1,000, and that's it. I know we're not supposed to harp on about it, and it's not cool, but I'm very excited. The backstory, just quickly, is I didn't even know about all this kind of stuff, but when I got my 360, it was Insta360 360-degree camera, I quickly discovered that the only way to stream from it is through a very short cable through the mobile phone. So therefore, to stream to YouTube, you have to do mobile streaming, which YouTube would only let you do if you had 1,000 subs and 4,000, which happens to be the same criteria for being monetized and things like that. So I was like, right, quick, what do I do? And I tried lots of different things. There's a whole video about it here and there, but in the end, it was just like, don't worry about it. It's long since got rid of that camera. I don't think they're ready. I don't think the tech is ready for my desired use for it just yet. But I look forward to 3D stuff in the future. But then there you go. I've done it. We've got 1,000 subs. Yay! I can put that aside and get back on with life, sensible life. So the next exciting thing is the NAS. So if you look at the TV underneath here, you'll see a wide shot of me, and then I'll just show you. This is using the BirdDog P200 NDI camera through the keyboard. So I've got a preset there, which is just my big talking head. But the one I wanted to get was that. So you can just see that flickering there. That is I'll try and move it so it's more obvious. That's my NAS. You're better off just looking behind me. There it is. Okay. So I've got a rack mount NAS, and I'm very excited about it because I managed to fiddle around and achieve something that I'm happy with last night. Now this is where the community is so important, because if I've done something wrong, or I'm heading down the wrong path with my syncing and stuff, or if you've got any tips, please let me know. I'm not here to say this is how you do it. I'm here to say this is how I've managed to do it so far, and the community will build up the knowledge. Okay, so what I've done is I've got so far I've got a RAID 5 setup with so far 3 8 terabyte Western Digital Pro, NAS Pro, whatever, really expensive freaking hard drives, right? So they're in there running a RAID 5. So I've got plenty of space for now. But now that I'm videoing on multiple cameras, it's not going to last forever. Right. That's that. I've got one more to put in there, which will be another 8, which will give me a bit of leeway, probably for a couple of years. Okay, so got the NAS set up. Now, I don't have 10 gig Ethernet going on in here. The computer that I've got on order to run this whole show, God bless the old one, but it's getting on a bit. I'm getting that with a 10 gig Ethernet port in it. The NAS has a 10 gig Ethernet port, and so therefore the only thing left would be a 10 gig switch. and then I'll actually be able to record straight to the NAS, and that'll be very exciting from both studios. That's the whole point. There are two studios here, right? So I'm excited about that possibility in the future, the near future. But for now, what I set up was a Q-Sync setup, and I'm not going to show you it because I don't want to see it for now. I spent all day yesterday dealing with it. Okay, so what I managed to do was last week I recorded a podcast. You can see the project here on the other monitor in Reaper. So I recorded a podcast and saved it just in its brutal block form. Then I set up the sync to take it's traditionally under a terabyte, my current podcast recording folder. Okay, not including videos, right? So usually that, I can roll for quite some time under a terabyte, recording, editing, and move around. And the reason I know that is because I've been getting around with a 1 tera SSD Samsung in my bag, which I've been sync toying here, sync toying at home, editing at home, bringing it back, sync toying it back, and all this kind of carry on. So last night was the big experiment. So I set up the sync and let it do its thing. So synchronized my main podcast current clients, I call it my current clients folder, to a folder within the NAS, right? So that worked, right? But then at home, I set up using Q Cloud or something like that, using a way of accessing this sync stuff over the internet, right? So I've got my laptop, and then I've brought home a big 6 to 8 tera sort of desktop hard drive, which is really probably not the best to keep carrying it around. So that will live at home. So I've plugged that into the laptop, right, and set that up to sync, to save hours of broadband, because it's a terabyte, it's got about 800 gigs or something on it at the moment. I copied it. I cheated, and I copied the latest version of that folder using my trusty SSD onto that. Took a little while, and then I synced that to my NAS, which is synced to this computer, right? Following? I don't know if I am either anymore, right? So what I did last night, I set it all up, and then I opened this file, this recording, right, on the Extreme, on the desktop hard drive that was synced to the NAS, which is synced to this hard drive, right? So I've opened the project, which was as it was meant to be from when I recorded it, which is like, just raw material, an intro done later, and, bits and bobs everywhere, right? Opened it up, did a couple of hours of editing, prayed that it wouldn't go wrong, so I'd have to go home again. Did I copy it onto my hard drive? No, I didn't. I thought I'll just have the courage. And so I did that and just literally saved it and closed it. Save, close. Shut down the laptop. How soon did I shut down the laptop? I can't remember exactly how long I left it open, but I saved it, closed it, had a cup of tea. Went to work this morning, opened up the computer, went to where this project I'd left it in the first place on my local hard drive here on the main computer, and bam, there you have it. It's been edited. You can see the volume envelopes and stuff have been messed with, and it plays and everything's fine. So it's too late to cut the long story short, but it worked using Q-Sync with the NAS, with the QNAP NAS, right? And then with the setup of Q Cloud or whatever it's called, I'm able to access. I can also access anything on that NAS from my phone. God knows about security and stuff like that. I'm sure in the comments you'll tell me what grave dangers I'm in of being hacked, but we will find out. So that was the second most exciting thing to happen in the last 24 hours. The first one, of course, has to be the 1,000 subs, just because it's been going for a long time. All right, so what else can I show you? I did get an extra large Stream Deck, and there's two reasons I'm very excited about this. Firstly, I can choose, in normal cases, this is a virtual set, so I can just roll around as much as I like. Well, that should be using that shot, shouldn't I? So that's the shots, and then I've got things that happen on the TV, right, up there. And then if I go wide, I can program just different things that happen on the bottom TV. You see, there's my logo, and that you can see that's done in a semi-transparent mode, so you can still see the other image under there. See that? That's what it's like with nothing. So that is not a reflection of my NAS. That's actually the camera pointing at it. All right. So if I put that one on and go to one recall, you'll find that on camera 2. Oh, let's have a look. Run preset 2. 2 seconds, and bam, there's the whole room. It gets a bit hard to work everything at once when you're unaccustomed, when you've only just set it up. So that's exciting. This is great because you can get everything on there, and you can leave some space for other things. For instance, if I'm recording and videoing, multi-camera videoing someone doing a podcast, for that podcast, I can load up audio effects and all kinds of things on there that are just for that day, and then remove them, so that can come and go without changing the VMIX shortcuts themselves. You can actually have some of the buttons, most of it to do VMIX, but some of the buttons you can have to do other stuff, like your lighting or whatever. My other one of these Stream Decks, my little one, I'll either use it in the other studio for now, or I'll rig it up as well to operate the lighting, because that's the next part of this story. If I could be bothered, I'd try and get the camera to... Actually, you can see, if you look at that bottom screen, you'll see here where I'm tapping, that's a DMX controller. Yeah, cheap Chauvet DJ something 40 light controller, which is great. And I've only got 4 lights in here. Only 2 are wired up at the moment. Coloured light, RGB lights, and that's great. So I can turn that on and choose different colours for around here, but it's sort of a little bit awkward and a cumbersome thing for my little Davros nest here. So I've got this thing, which I'll show you, which I'm just new to. Okay, so if I will do this. I'm going to do it. I'm going to go camera 1, and I'm going to zoom in on it. Probably regret it. There you go. EnTTEC with 2 T's, right? And actually, why don't I do that? And use the preset. So that's USB, and it's a 5-pin DMX cable. So you've got to get a converter as well. Remember that? I had to borrow one from Nathan down the road, and that goes in and allows you to open up some shareware or freeware, or whatever you call it these days, software, and allows you to control the lights and make patterns and stuff like that. So I'll show you that another day. So that's pretty exciting. But what it does mean is, without having to open up software while you're busy trying to operate everything at the same time, I can program a couple of lights. You can just program them in to your Stream Deck using companion software, or the other Stream Deck, and just have that as lighting and sound effects, and completely nothing to do with video switching. And that way you can run it from another computer in another room using the Ethernet. So that's about all the exciting things to catch you up on. I don't think I have anything more when I look around. Not really. We got a bit of a taste of the new firmware for Bird Dog. I think there's a few little glitches they're working on right now. No bother. But the color matrix, like I'm not really a color, as you can see, I just get in and have a crack at something when it's my own stuff. But it looks like the color matrix is going to be magnificent, just to match, to be able to match all your cameras and get it all just right. Pretty exciting stuff coming from Bird Dog all the time. So I'm really, really stoked. That should just about cover it for now. Sorry about the delay in the updates, but that's what's going on here. The NAS, we're thinking about going 10 gig Ethernet across the board around here. There's another good reason for that. At minimum, going between if I go between the switch, which I don't have yet, I've got a good switch but not good enough. If I put a 10 gig between the switch and the PC, then I don't get a bottleneck of NDI sources. So currently I've got 1, 2, 3, but I might be bringing in stuff from other computers elsewhere on the network, desktop captures, all kinds of things. So if you're using, say if they're using 120 each, that can add up to a 1 gig bottleneck pretty damn quickly. So I'm kind of excited, and that's the main reason I'm going down the 10. The positive part is I'll be able to also smash straight into the NAS rather than have to worry about syncing at this end. So I'll be able to use the NAS directly, and so will the other computer. All right, enough. I got to go. See you later.